the deafening roar of the audience suddenly fell silent. Thousands of armies, previously swept up in the euphoria of BTS's concert, froze as Jungkook, the golden magne, was caught on the stage cameras bowing his head, wiping tears from his face with both hands, and struggling to hold back his sobs. The moment broke right after Jin, BTS's eldest member, delivered a message that sounded simple yet carried layers of deep emotion, shaking the entire atmosphere. What really happened behind Jin's words that caused Jungkook to lose control on stage? Was this pure spontaneity, or is there something bigger hidden behind the scenes? In a matter of seconds, the grand concert filled with lights and cheers turned into a tense, silent arena. Camera spotlights captured with perfect clarity how Jungkook's faint smile suddenly transformed. The crowd, once hysterical, fell silent, as though they too felt the heavy emotional weight in the air. When Jin, in a firm yet trembling voice, said, "While I was gone, Jungkook was the one holding everything together. I'm so proud of you." The entire concert hall was immediately enveloped in an unusual aura. Was it merely an expression of gratitude, or was there a deeper meaning not yet revealed to the public? Jungkook, long known for his emotional strength, often the one calming other members during hard times, now seemed unable to contain his own feelings. He turned his face away, covered it with his palms, and tried to steady his breath under the gaze of thousands of watchful eyes. The silence lasted only a few seconds, but it felt like long, suffocating minutes. Meanwhile, Jin stood tall, his eyes locked on Jungkook's with an equally emotional expression. Could this be proof that during Jin's military service, Jungkook had carried an invisible burden all on his own? For many fans, that moment was one of the most touching events in BTS's concert history. But on the other hand, unanswered questions began to surface. Why did Jin choose to reveal such a message at a massive concert, instead of in a private interaction or via social media as he usually would? Was this spontaneous honesty, or a symbolic communication carefully intended for the public? The footage of the event spread quickly on social media. In less than an hour, a few seconds of video showing Jungkook's tears went globally viral. Armies from all over the world re-uploaded the clip, accompanied by heartfelt comments. Many admitted to crying along upon seeing Jungkook's rare, vulnerable side on stage. Yet not a few began to question, could there be a communication strategy playing out behind the scenes? It's no secret that after several BTS members, including Jin, completed their military service, the group's internal dynamics faced immense pressure. Public speculation arose about the weight resting on the active members like Jungkook, especially in maintaining the group's global presence. Jin, long known as the protective older brother with a great sense of humor, rarely showed his sentimental side in public. So, when he suddenly expressed such deep appreciation for Jungkook before tens of thousands of fans, it created an inevitable emotional wave. Was it simply a thank you? Or was there a lingering guilt Jin had carried all this time for leaving Jungkook and the others to shoulder the burden alone? Jin's one sentence sounded simple, yet upon deeper reflection, it might have been a confession previously whispered only behind closed doors. "I wasn't there to see how hard you fought, but I know, and I'm deeply grateful." That line seemed to mark a turning point in their relationship, while striking at the core of a vulnerability rarely exposed to the public. The armies in the stadium responded with overwhelming emotion. Cries, applause, and shouts of encouragement all mixed together, creating a scene full of contradictions, touching yet tense. Jungkook remained standing, though it was clear he struggled not to sink further into his emotions. The other members also reacted. Jimin gently patted Jungkook's shoulder from behind. Suga and RM exchanged meaningful glances, while V simply stared at Jin with a blank expression, as though understanding a larger message behind those words. But behind that touching moment arose critical questions. Were we witnessing pure emotional honesty, or was this a carefully constructed narrative by the entertainment industry? In an era where every tear can become a commodity, we cannot ignore the possibility that this event was prepared to elicit a specific psychological effect. After all, BTS as a global phenomenon is not just a music group, they are also a symbol of the K-pop industry's finely tuned public communication strategies. Many pop culture observers began questioning the timing and delivery of Jin's message. Why now? Why at such a huge concert broadcast worldwide? Was this genuine emotional spontaneity, or part of a strategy to bring the spotlight back to BTS after their long hiatus? Moreover, the concert cameras seemed to capture every detail of Jungkook's emotions from perfect angles, reinforcing the impression that the moment was designed to spark mass empathy. Social media amplified the moment, but it also blurred the line between reality and orchestration. Platforms like TikTok and YouTube often push highly emotional content to the top of trending lists without considering broader context. The question remains, who benefits the most from this viral moment? Jungkook and Jin as individuals, BTS as a group, or the entertainment industry that thrives on emotional drama capable of reaching audiences across borders? Yet this skepticism doesn't necessarily equal cynicism. There's a strong possibility that Jungkook's tears were indeed genuine, a release after years of carrying immense responsibility. But we must also remember that the modern entertainment world often packages public narratives within polished emotional displays. Jungkook's tearful moment will forever be remembered as one of the most iconic events in BTS's journey. But behind it all, the public must dare to ask, are we witnessing pure human vulnerability or a component of a highly sophisticated communication strategy? Are we crying with Jungkook, or merely consuming emotions packaged to captivate our hearts? These questions aren't meant to diminish BTS or downplay the meaning of the moment. On the contrary, they're an invitation for audiences to become smarter and more critical. In an age where every tear can be viraled and monetized, media literacy is key. We must enjoy emotional moments without losing sight of the fact that behind every major entertainment event, there are narrative layers worth questioning. Now, the public awaits BTS's next move. Will Jin's statement mark the beginning of a more emotionally open era? Or is this just one chapter in their long journey of maintaining global relevance? One thing is certain. That night, Jungkook's tears were not simply a sign of weakness. They were the most human reflection of a global icon long forced to appear perfect. And as spectators, we are reminded once again that even under the brightest stage lights, humans remain human. But are these moments truly theirs anymore, or have they already become public property, meeting an endless demand for emotion? That night, Jungkook's tears shook the world. A short video showing him crying after Jin's emotional message on stage seemed to become the center of global attention. Thousands of fans witnessed it live in the stadium, while millions more watched through recordings circulating on various social media platforms. But behind the flood of sympathy and euphoria, a fundamental question emerges. Was this moment truly spontaneous and heartfelt, or was it an emotional scenario designed to provoke public reaction? Are we seeing the most authentic honesty, or just the result of a carefully structured narrative? Such phenomena can no longer be viewed as mere emotional moments. The modern entertainment world, especially the K-pop industry, is known for its extraordinarily sophisticated communication strategies. Every move by an artist, every word spoken, even every tear shed on stage can be part of an image crafted for the public. Could Jungkook's crying be a pure expression of emotional weight he has carried all this time? Or was the moment prepared as a tool to recapture global attention for BTS, who have been on hiatus due to members' military obligations? We must acknowledge that social media has become a catalyst accelerating the spread of this event. Within minutes, clips of Jungkook crying flooded TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Twitter, and other platforms. Digital algorithms worked tirelessly to ensure that emotion-evoking content, especially sadness and empathy, got maximum exposure. But have we asked ourselves, who gains the most from the virality of this moment? BTS as a group, individuals like Jin and Jungkook, or South Korea's entertainment industry, which constantly needs emotional stories to maintain relevance in the global market? In the midst of the sympathy-flooding media, it's crucial to remember that the information we consume comes from sources that are not necessarily neutral. Many videos circulating have been edited, framed, and even translated in ways that sometimes alter the original context. Can we be sure Jin's message was truly delivered with spontaneous intent? Or were those seemingly simple words part of an emotional script designed to create a specific psychological impact on audiences? This question becomes even more relevant when we consider how BTS and their agency have long built the group's image. They are known for meticulously crafting every detail of public interaction, from album concepts to casual social media chats. Isn't it possible that this tearful moment, though raw and real on the surface, was actually part of a carefully designed communication architecture? Are we too quick to believe simply because the moment succeeded in stirring our emotions? We must also ask, why did Jin choose to deliver his emotional message in the middle of a huge, widely broadcast concert? Why not in a closed session or through more private official platforms? Wouldn't the dramatic delivery on stage, with hundreds of cameras capturing it from various angles, strengthen the suspicion that the moment was thoroughly considered? Are we witnessing a natural event, or being presented with an emotional performance packaged to feel authentic? Of course, this skepticism is not meant to recklessly accuse BTS. On the contrary, critical thinking is essential to avoid becoming passive consumers of narratives built by the entertainment industry. In an era where emotions are commodities, every tear and warm hug on stage can become tools to sustain fan engagement and reinforce an artist's brand in the public eye. Is the public ready to acknowledge that the entertainment world never fully detaches itself from hidden commercial interests? We also need to consider the psychological effect on audiences. When an emotional moment goes massively viral, are viewers still able to distinguish between reality and orchestration? Are we seeing humans with authentic feelings or polished characters crafted to maintain public charm? And more importantly, are we, as a global audience, merely tools for the industry to monetize our emotions? Data shows that BTS, from the beginning, has expertly utilized emotional dynamics to maintain their bond with fans. They are renowned for creating narratives that touch on humanity, struggles, sacrifices, and brotherhood. But does the public realize that such narratives also serve as powerful marketing strategies? Moments like Jungkook crying on stage can reinforce the perception that they are sincere, human, and worthy of unconditional love. Yet, do these moments happen naturally? Or is there a behind-the-scenes communication design guiding them? As critical audiences, we must ask, has the information about this incident been properly verified? Isn't most of the content we see based on fan-made video clips, social media comments, and entertainment media that often chase clicks and engagement? Are we sure Jin's message hasn't been misinterpreted or twisted through biased translations? And what if this moment was enhanced by camera framing and visual edits to amplify its dramatic impact? Let's use a simple analogy. When we watch a film that moves us to tears, we know it's the product of a script, a director, and actors playing their parts well. But when tears fall in real life, especially from an artist as big as BTS, why are we so quick to accept them as absolute truth? Could we be witnessing another production, only this time without realizing it? These questions must be asked, not to bring BTS down or diminish the public's appreciation of them. On the contrary, this is a form of more mature love, a love willing to see reality beyond the spotlight and cameras. In the global entertainment world, even vulnerability can become a capitalized asset. Is the public ready to accept that what appears to be pure tears could also be part of a communication strategy designed to trigger mass sympathy? Now we come to the heart of reflection. Do you, as a viewer, truly believe this moment was completely real? Or do you sense a deliberate pattern crafted to draw media attention? Do you believe Jin's message and Jungkook's tears were unstoppable outpourings of emotion? Or were they part of a scenario meant to strengthen the narrative of BTS's solidarity and struggles? We acknowledge that the information in this article comes from various platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and international entertainment media. However, the truth of this information cannot yet be fully verified. Some video recordings may have been edited, while the original context of Jin's message could have changed due to translation or framing. Therefore, we invite readers not to believe every circulating piece of information outright without a rigorous verification process. Skepticism doesn't mean rejecting everything outright. Skepticism is the foundation of critical thinking that allows us to distinguish between fact and illusion, between honesty and produced narratives. In an age where emotions are turned into content, the ability to analyze and question becomes the primary weapon to protect ourselves from mass manipulation. The question now is, are audiences ready to be reflective? Are we willing to dig deeper than simply being swept away by a tide of tears? Or will we remain passive consumers in an industry highly skilled at playing with emotions? Each person must ask themselves, am I witnessing reality? Or just a script designed to capture my attention? The entertainment world always has two sides, the visible surface and the hidden backstage. And our job as audiences is not just to enjoy what is shown, but also to dare to ask about what is not. Jungkook's tears may well symbolize genuine humanity, but they could also be an artifact of a carefully orchestrated communication strategy. So, how about you? Do you believe this moment was truly real? Or do you detect a pattern of orchestration designed to create maximum emotional impact? Are you ready to question the narrative you've been given? Or will you choose to remain swept away in the wave of emotion without asking where it came from? The answers to these questions will determine whether you are an enlightened viewer or simply part of a crowd manipulated by the industry.